in meta right now. You have to take away the Pantheon, but things like the Skarner have been super essential towards AL's success over the course of this year, and they're going to be pretty happy to pick that up early on. For JDG, Orianna's left available. HongQ's been on fire, and it's the best champ in the patch that got even better on the new patch. This is a mistake.
2-0? No, I'm kidding. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but it's a great start here. Listen, AL are going to get a pretty decent turn on their own. I would assume this is just the Ashe Seraphine lock-in, right? So, Kman, I know this is a little bittersweet for you. You really want to see Kael, you know, maybe play this Bard that got left up, but he's locked into the 2v2 now.
Look, I get tagged on Twitter every single time and Orianna gets picked in Tier 1 from how aggressively I have talked about not letting this through, and you're getting, I get that Ashe Seraphine's a good trade, but and you're getting Kael on a more stationary 2v2 bot lane. There are some concerns with the start of this draft for me. We'll have to see what the answer is from Gala and Vampire, and they're throwing down the gauntlet. This is the best counter in the game to Ashe Seraphine. Lucian Milio should dominate this 2v2 and basically take away all the pressure that those two can offer in the laning phase, and you have an Orianna on top of it.
Oh, man. All right, so Shanks is going to slam another comfort pick. He's going to lock in the Rise as that response. I find that really interesting. You say that Lucian Milio is the best answer to Ashe Seraphine. I subscribe to that for the LPL. They have always had that be the best answer. But I will still shout out, because we saw it hovered. Other regions, I know, much lower level of play, but NACL, they're starting to like Misfortune Nautilus as an answer in Ashe Seraphine. So we saw that hovered. Maybe we'll see that come into fruition later on in the split, but not going to be the case here, as we're going to have to start targeting junglers and top laners. Wouldn't be surprised if JDG just go after Tarzan, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you really got to start targeting those jungle positions. It's actually AL who ban out the Skarner. They view this champ very differently than basically every other team in the league. And that's fine. Hey, you yourself want to say, hey, Skarner's good, we don't want to give that over with Orianna. I totally understand. It's just strange to see AL be the Skarner team and be the one to ban it out. So certainly something to keep in mind. Both of these junglers kind of known for being more facilitators, right? Tarzan made his name on things like playing really aggressive Zac games and, you know, playing Sejuani and Maokai at a really high level. JunJia was very similar, especially when he was on EDG in the LPL. He was also a Maokai Sejuani enthusiast, so maybe just not wanting to play against those tanks. Qiyana going to be the ban against Tarzan. These carries are really what he has thrived upon. Nefiri was already taken off the board. In terms of what is left up for Tarzan, you've got the Xin Zhao, obviously with 2 games played across this split. Then it's Poppy, Wukong. Those are really the only other champions that he's played. Kazakhstan coming out against JunJia.
Whoa. You know, it's funny, because I don't think, like, JDG's draft has enough setup for JunJia to go carry again. I really like the Qiyana ban. I think this is, you know, as Seraphine Rise is more than enough setup to allow for a carry jungler. So I really like the Qiyana ban. The Kazakhs ban, a lot of respect bans going over to JunJia. You know, my J4, of course, got first phase ban. You know, best J4 in the world.
Oh.
He is the Kazakhs guy. Trundle ban,
I was going to say, I really thought JDG were angling for Trundle. I really thought that that was the way that they were setting up this draft. It felt like it made a lot of sense for the way that they had set up with the Orianna, but they actually ban it out and leave the Xin Zhao open for Tarzan. That's a really good answer. I mean, there are very few junglers that can skirmish as easily as Xin Zhao can. Of course, the build path has become a bit more interesting on the new patch. If you do want to potentially go for some of those new build patterns, maybe you just want to stay standard and build what you've been building all year long. We'll have to see the direction Tarzan wants to go in, but it does really raise the question of who is the ball delivery system for JDG, and Malphite is going to be the lock-in here.
So, one of the first series that we saw from this new look JDG roster, I believe it was their first series, maybe even their first game, was JunJia and HongQ playing Malphite Orianna and absolutely dumpstering in the 2v2 once ults came online. They got a huge lead. Also the game that Gala got a Pentacle and Yunara in his debut. Such a high-flying start, but since then, JunJia has not played the Malphite this split. This is his first Malphite game of Split 2. So very intriguing, but Kman, talk to me about the Flandre vein we're about to get to. I didn't miss out on that R5 or B5.
Flandre has been one of the more successful Vayne players across this split. 2 games on at a 50% win rate, but both of those games he was relevant in. And even if the laning phase doesn't go your way, Flandre is going to be able to burst down a lot of the members that are kind of short range of this enemy comp. Obviously, the Mbess is a very good 1v1 matchup, but Lucian has to be very scared of playing into something like Vayne. If you get condemned in the later part of the game, you're kind of toast. There's no way to be able to play that out. So that's definitely a bit of a threat, but overall, I value JDG's comp much more. It's certainly much more straightforward in terms of how you find those executions. The Orianna certainly plays a part, but like Orianna ball on top of Yeah, Orianna Ball on top of Malphite is got to be one of the easiest ways to start fights in the game, and you're staring down a Vayne who's low range, a Ryze who's low range, a XinJia who wants to dive in, who's not really going to have an easy time into the Malphite. Like, I really do think that they have a lot of tools here. Their engage is much more straightforward, and as long as they're going forward and being the ones to create plays themselves, I think they'll be good. They just can't let this game get out of control. Late game gets a little bit dicey for them.
It does. Ashe Seraphine is a true scaling threat, but JDG are already leaning on what they did so well in Game 1, playing as a group, on the same page with how they want to go about fights, and in this game, it's everybody forward. Everybody forward to success. JDG, if they succeed here, are locked in top 4 playoffs. Here we go. Game 2, AL JDG. Guys.
Right through the gyos.
I refuse to interrupt my guy that is pulling from the depths of his diaphragm to get the JDG cheer started. I will not interrupt that man. Game recognized game, man. As someone who likes to scream very loudly for a career path.
Slayer, I've heard those gyos in real life. I know that they go a bit crazy from you, so you know that I certainly think that you're recognizing the overall passion that they might offer. But definitely a lot of action happening early. We typically see those trades of summoner spells. Everyone keeping flash this time is kind of important. AL are going to have the shove early on. This is not going to last for long, and JunJia already looking to be a little bit of a dissuader onto Tarzan.
We're doing this again. Tarzan, I like this. This is a better game to go for it. Level 2 Malphite is more of a bit of a pebble.
Oh, okay. Tarzan.
Tarzan gets it. Oh my god, he's going to dash over the wall. JunJia tried to flash. Can he get the 3 challenge strike knockup? Nope, doesn't have access to that one. He gets the Wisdom Cups Lightning. Thank you, production. This is a beautiful time, Shivam, to flash
Great timing.
We have our junglers. Want to make sure. Guys, we do our own all-pro votes. We want you are the community that keeps us running here at LPL English, folks. So we want you involved. So please, cast your all-pro votes. And I expect, you know, I can't believe I'm saying this. I expect JunJia to be on a lot of your guys' all-pro votes. Maybe Tarzan, but both these guys should be center stage. As Tarzan tries to, shift center stage over towards the mid lane. But he is trying to, I guess, just reset the weird path that he put himself on. Or just look to invade more. That's the ulterior option. Oh,
I mean, if you're scared of Malphite level 6, don't let him hit level 6. Just keep invading him, and he's gonna find him on Gromp again here.
He does have smite. Oh, this is gonna be a pretty big 50-50.
No.
JunJia, he doesn't even have level 3 if he can't get this. Kael's racing up here. Vampire's here, but Kael's first. Tarzan's gonna steal another camp away. Time to play a fun game called How Long Can I Make It Before This Malphite Can Get Ultimate? This is such a sad image. He's just staring and watching Tarzan take his blue buff in front of him, and there's nothing he can do. We'll just have to pay it a bottom lane. It's too depressing looking right now, JunJia's POV. No! Don't go back! This man is being terrorized. Oh my god, he's level 2. He is level 2 still.
Can I point out that it's 20 CS to 4 in the jungle? Is that bullying? Am I contributing to the problem here, or what? Like,
nope, you're merely stating facts. The bullying is an unfortunate side effect.
Yeah, he's pinging down onto the crab on top side and just saying, I'll get that, I guess. It's really the only thing he can go for right now. This game is nightmarishly bad already for JDG. This is why you can't give XinJia over in the early game. Tarzan is also just saying, hey, I want your respawned Raptors as well. I'm not done with this as Gala looks for a fight.
Oh, flash for Flash, hope! But that's a great double tap trap from Kael, but it still comes across. First blood to Gala, 80 carries straight their lives. What the hell is going on in this mid lane? Shanks has got all the way up through the mid-tier 1 turret just to make sure Tarzan can steal away more camps. JunJia has 4 farm. He still is at 4. Just go have to respawn wolves, Kman. Oh my god.
Oh my god, he didn't even get the crab. He gets wolves. That's good. He won't hit level 3 off of this wolves, so that's a bit of a problem. This game is really bad. This is a really bad game right now for JDG. Tarzan's a level and a half up on JunJia. He's 31 to 8 CS.
HongQ.
Shanks has to be careful. HongQ can flash here. Doesn't want to go for it. I think if he flashes, he kills, because Q will be up in time to be able to make that play happen. Guess he didn't want to risk it, so overall, still some aggressive trades, but at least JunJia's starting to get some farm.
Yep, but it's time to now keep the pressure up on another target. It's going to be the speed up. Shanks flashes. He wants the Rune Prism. The flash for the slowdown from the beat drop. gets Kael the kill. Who said he can't be a roaming support when he picks the Seraphine?
Incredible roam from Kael, and that punishes, I think, the indecision from HongQ in terms of not flashing for that kill earlier. I really do believe he would have picked it up, and without that resource available, he has to burn flash going backwards, gets flashed on top of, and just ends up dying. AL have a 1,500 gold lead, a 600 gold lead in the jungle already. This game looks like it's almost entirely out of control.
That is a scary thing to hear from you, Kman. 5 minutes merely into the game. My Malphite has a Ruby Crystal and Cloth Armor.
Oh, no.
Let's see what Tarzan buys here. Oh my
Shanks
God,
is level 6.
I love this from AL. They are hungry. They were way upset about how passive they were in game 1. And now they're just going on all-out blitzes. Rune Prison's going to land on a Vampire, trying to kite back Destiny with the Cozy Campfire, but a Q from max range gets Shanks the kill. What sort of demon has awoken into anyone's legend?
They are dominating across the map. Everything is going in their favor. They're going to get the dragon for free off of this as well. This is the problem. I mean, JDG are playing this 4v5, and they're getting out macroed in terms of the way that they're playing the map. Their lanes are losing. JunJia's going to hope and pray to try to hit level 6 as quickly as he can, and you might think, oh, well, Malphite's just a level 6 bot anyways. Yeah, if he hits level 6, if he ever gets there, because right now it's a major question mark. AL have a full track to take this dragon before Grubs even spawn. They're going to be first onto Grubs as well. They have all these kills onto Ashe and Ryze. This game does not get easier. This is looking incredible for them.
They're going to get that Mountain Drake. It's a free constellation. Tarzan, I think, like, Grubs? Does JunJia even get 6 before these Grubs with where his camps are at? I don't think so. I mean,
definitely not.
Yeah, bar minimum. Tarzan's going to, I mean, why not keep invading, too? Shanks is now strong as well. Much stronger than HongQ. Let's play a fun game here, Kman. What point of the game do you think JunJia will get his first red buff? It's not going to be here.
Boy.
Spoiler. Unless I'm using
I mean,
my
he's going to try. We'll see. He has no vision. Yep, nope. Well, it's hopefully going to be soon. Hopefully the next one for him, as I think that likely eventually Tarzan will have to start respecting the fact that, you know, HongQ can start to make plays with Shockwave a little bit more efficiently. Once Malphite does hit level 6, you do at least have to be worried about the knock-up and CC potential coming in from that champion, so likely getting to the last parts of the game where he can just completely dominate that matchup, but still, at least for now, it's going to be everything on the map going in his favor. He's going to make sure to continue to clear down to the bottom side just to make sure that there's nothing on the map for JDG, because Malphite can't even try and step up to contest these Grubs.
Tarzan already over to level 6 here before that second Scuttle Crab spawn, if that didn't indicate further how ahead he has been, how many camps he's stolen. JunJia walking in with his bottom lane. He really wants his Gromp, but Tarzan has the timer. Kael's here to cover as well. He even has ultimate advantage over Vampire right now. So Encore is accessed. Cressigard is accessed. There's no way. I mean, this is deja vu. He's once again standing on the outskirts of his jungle saying, please, sir, may I have a blue buff?
I mean, he's got 27 farm. He's got 27 farm. Shanks is going to maybe overextend. HongQ's a level up on him. He has to be a little bit careful here, but Tarzan's just going to feel so aggro. The blue is going to reset, but look at where Kael and Hope are. They're fully invading his arrow.
Oh, HongQ gets hit. He's in fog, but there's what becomes sliding to find it. The Shockwave is a mere martyr. HongQ down. AL rolling through game 2.
Tarzan is running in between the turrets just to chase JunJia off the Raptors. I mean, this is domination. This is just like, this is actually cyberbullying at this point. Tarzan is abusing the map. After this, he can go straight to Grubs and basically take them entirely for free. He hasn't even fully bought the items that he's gotten with his lead yet. He's almost 1,000 gold up by himself in the jungle at 9 minutes.
Let's go, Tarzan. Kman, this is the Tarzan we've been missing for. I don't even want to just say split 2. Like, most of the year, I feel like this is the Tarzan that we've been missing that just absolutely gaps any other jungler against him. Doesn't even care how much of a hot streak JunJia's been on. It's his world, and you're going to live in it. It's his jungle. I'm talking all 4 quadrants, by the way, and you're living in it.
I mean, this game should be completely out of control at this point. It's not only that Tarzan is so ahead, it's that you're... Oh, he's going to get it. He's got level 6. It's not just that you're so far ahead. It's that, like, what do you even do? Like where is the play to even be made? But here's the thing: is you have a lot. Oh, Vampire! you have a lot of bad, like there are not a lot of good lanes to try and ult at this point, because now you're in a spot where Hope is going to be able to counter-engage basically any major aggressive play from the Malphite, and Shanks got a kill and 2 assists from those early Tarzan plays as well. You're losing in gold everywhere.
One bright light for JDG here. Shout out Xiaoxu, man. He's in to the Vayne matchup with Exhaust, and he is up CS. You know what? We had to find something good for JDG right now. Let's give the man his flowers for getting through the hardest early laning phase the top lane currently brings, which is this Vayne top matchup.
Yeah, I think this is obviously something that is, you know, Vayne favored, but I think it's a little more even than people would like to give it credit for. I mean, new Mbessa, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the ult change and just generally how that's going to affect the champion as well. Vayne, I think, generally speaking, has an easier time of being able to deal with Mbessa ult now, which is always good for the lane matchup, but I don't know. You don't want to get fully engaged on. Xiaoxu still is going to be able to farm relatively for free. It's hard to really punish if you're Vayne in this matchup, and I think as we're seeing, you know, we could see some up and down Vayne performances generally in the laning phase. I'm just not so sure how much it's even going to matter, even with the clips now finished on for Xiaoxu on the top side. Yeah,
Kman, I'm just here trying to provide some sort of spark here for JDG fans, because this is my boy. I know my boy Aragon's going through it at this point, especially after how Game 1 went. Like this is a very dull outlook on the rest of this game. And the funniest part is, like, we haven't seen, like, it's not the usual way where it's like a bunch of bombastic skirmishes or fights where everybody's getting bodied. Like, most of this lead for AL, again, has just been the macro. It's some good pickoffs, but it's mostly been the macro. JunJia is trying for this dragon, by the way.
Yeah, I think an important thing to point out here is that he has hit that level 6, and so he is an ult bot now, which has made him significantly more relevant. This is why I think it's going to be harder to invade the Malphite at this point, because at least he can punish the Xin Zhao overextending, so he should be able to catch up. This dragon going in his favor is obviously massive. I'm not really sure why you give that over. If you're AL, you should be full on that. I get that you lost bot lane priority, but Tarzan can get that back relatively easily. He's going to look for another invade onto Raptors here with these resetting. But again, you get caught by Malphite ultimate. It can start to get a little bit scary here, even if you have a full item up on him.
Well, he still wants these Raptors, and he still has these Raptors. Okay. Was this the third red buff we've had? And Tarzan's going to fight over it. But look at JDG. They are sacking their bottom lane's timing to get JunJia his red buff. Tarzan, let this one go, bro. He doesn't know the bottom lane's there, Kman. He has no idea. When becomes lighting's not going to hit. JunJia gets his red buff. Now just sees the bottom lane as the double tap comes across. Tarzan throws down the crescent guard. Gala is going to face check an arrow. But thanks to Melio and Breath of Life, there won't be any further commit. JunJia has gotten his red buff.
I really thought that it was not going to happen. I really thought that Tarzan was going to go in there and get it, but JunJia has secured the red buff, his first of the game. Tarzan feels enabled because of the item difference, but that's a very scary spot for Tarzan to be in. It's not just, oh, I don't know if the bot lane's there. If you get hit by Shockwave, you're probably dead, even if it's just Orianna Malphite. So you do have to be quite scared in that instance. Tarzan just not feeling any sort of fear on the map right now, and you know what? I can't even really blame him. He's completely dominated and controlled this entire game. Why not just play with your life as if it's free?
JDG are off the back of that kind of play to cover JunJia's red buff are now into some lesser obvious lane states. I do like it with how the quests have come across here for JDG. Obviously, JunJia's not going to get his done for a little bit, guys. Don't need to continue stating that fact. Just continue gluing your eyes to the CS gap, and you'll know why. There's only one guy that's holding up the quest, the quest asset that LPL uses always.
I think I'm realizing now. I don't think JunJia got his red. I think he actually didn't get the red. I was watching him walk around. I saw the little Sunfire thing below him. I didn't see any red buff notifications, so I think it might still be on the table for the first one.
Oh no, we thought we turned a corner. we thought we'd made some positive progress. We'll have to wait for the next. Yeah, Tarzan's got red buff. Yep.
Oh man.
All right, it's on Tarzan. All right, well, Hawkshot's going to spot JunJia as well on his bot side, as we do have Herald spawning in about 40 seconds. And luckily for JDG, there's one clear way to get back into this game. They just have to make their wombo work. They have to fight, and they've drafted for it. When are they going to try and group up this top side? All fight as one. Xiaoxu finally getting to see JunJia the first time in this game as the blue buff fight will commence, but AL are committed to this game plan. No buffs for JunJia. Shanks can chase really far. There's the unstoppable force. Xiaoxu not going to use the public execution. Both the arrow and the encore do go wide. Pressing guard comes down from Tarzan. Breath of Life's used. There's the public execution through. Xiaoxu just trying to go the right side of this fight, but Hope is like a Gatling gun. Gets through JunJia's one-item Malphite, and HongQ's TP was too little, too late. AL win the skirmish.
If there's one champion who can actually pull that fight back, it's Orianna. And so to not have Orianna there for the key exchange, again, it's a nightmare rotation for JDG. They're just not in the right spot. JunJia looks like he finds a good engage onto Shanks, who is so far forward. I mean, it's like the most egregious rise positioning you could ever get, but he's allowed to do it in this game because of just how far ahead his jungler is. Tarzan is massive and is able to keep that fight active. If there is an avenue back into this game, it's this Blackfire Torch Orianna, but if you fight completely around everyone else and not around her, there's just no easy ways for JDG to play this.
They have to find a way. We'll get a replay look back here. You called it out. I mean, this Shanks walk is crazy in most games.
Look at where he is. I mean, that's absurd. Like, it's absurd for him to be where he's at. Completely disconnected from the rest of the team, but he's so strong, and Tarzan is also so big at this point that despite the fact that the Xinjiao is basically CC chained for the entirety of this fight, it doesn't even really matter. By the time they actually get any sort of damage down, the fight is already over. You can't even kill the Xinjiao, and Malphite's melting like paper at this moment. It's just a bad situation. A 1.2k gold lead for Tarzan as he's going to start up the Rift Herald here. They might even use that on the top side to get Flandre back into this game. Don't
mean to rub salt into the wound, JDG fans, but that fight also saw Hope and Kael each land a field goal with their ultimates. So no one got hit by the encore. No one ate an Ash Arrow. It went right up the middle. So that's not going to happen in a lot more of these fights. I would not count on that going forward. There's the Herald taken, as you pointed out here. JunJia wants to try and overload to punish onto this bot tier 1 turret. HongQ, thankfully, is going to complete that back where he would have faced down 4 members of AL. Flandre's even committing final hour just for the boosted auto attacks as we race for this first turret that, well, JDG will finally find a win with. They do get that extra gold.
Yeah, that's a really strange ultimate from Flandre. There's no way you're ever going to get first turret. That is incredibly confusing, but he does it just to back, so you know what? Sure, why not? I mean, you do trade the turrets on the side lanes here. Dragon going to be started up by JDG with all that pressure on the top side. How aggressive do AL want to contest this TP coming in behind?
Oh my god. Gala, we could not start frontline against Lucia. There's Breath of Life traded for the Ash Arrow. Shanks, TP's behind all of JDG. They've now very much so disconnected Xiaoxu, who will not even rejoin. So JDG, they're going to bide their time, give over the third Drake of the game. It's not Soul Point, so not a big issue, as long as we don't disrespect AL on the mid wave, which we don't. Okay, all right. Kman, how valuable is this buying gold time here for JDG? Oh, hold on. JunJia's in a nightmare that he's never going to wake up from. Realm Orb, Prism down. He's going to have to unstoppable force his way on out of there. Never good to see a Malphite used defensively. Ult defensively, and now he's left his top laner very alone, isolated under this turret that won't really protect him. Nice get down there from Flandre to get things started. Oh, the public execution doesn't hit because the Rune Prism held Xiaoxu in place. AL, it's surgical at this point, Kman.
If you want to get gold anywhere on the map, you're going to have to go through this barrage of AL team members, and it's been a bit of a nightmare.
Oh, nice
smite coming down from JunJia to at least get that second charge to not go off. I was actually going to praise JDG a little bit. The gold lead had shrunk quite a considerable amount from the early game to the mid game. JDG had done a good job catching up, and you're looking at Xiaoxu being in a good spot. Gala is actually even or a little bit up in gold. Even HongQ at 0 and 2 is doing okay in terms of generating resources, but these are the kinds of plays that you just can't afford to make. Once again, JunJia pushed off the wave entirely. It leaves his top laner completely out to dry. There's basically nothing that you can do as an Ambessa to be able to outplay this. It's a great condemn from Flandre to be able to dissuade any sort of aggressive attempt, and Tarzan just sidestepping the ult, basically getting rid of any chance for Xiaoxu to get out. There's no counterplay to that. As long as AL play it well, they're going to be able to pick it up, and once again, we go from a game state that looked like JDG could maybe start to try and find some fights to fully AL favored.
Kman.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about the new patch, still a lot to discover, but it's always cool when you get like a visual aid onto a change. Folks, you just saw the difference between a 0.5 cast on Ambessa Ultimate and a 0.7 cast on it. Right there.
Very true. Very true. And that's the thing. People have been discussing so much, like, hey, do we think that Ambessa is still, you know, that same value priority pick, especially blind, that she was before the changes? Ash Arrow gonna go wide once again, just trying to catch that Malphite out before any of these objectives spawn, but Tarzan doesn't care. Arrow or no arrow, he's going in.
Is there a buff up for JunJia to have? Yeah, it's mine. I'm fighting for it. I know the timer. All right, we're back here again. Tarzan re-engages another dash forward. Gala does come across here. Coley forces the Crescent Guard out. Most important, though, AL do get that blue buff. So that's the win that we have here. JDG still do not get access to their buffs to their jungler. I actually do see JunJia has his red buff. So that's one win. JunJia finally got his red buff at some point. JDG trying to look for a scrap here. They need to fight their way back into this game. Realm Warp, Shanks, Realm Warp's right on top of 2 members, 2 carries, but somehow it's going to work out. JunJia has to flash, get the Breath of Life heal. Tarzan, finds 4-3 talent strike.
HongQ is not here.
Knock up of Xiaoxu. And again, Kman, you called it out. Where the hell is my Giga Orianna for any of these fights?
It's just absurd. You have to play as a team at some point. AL are getting free picks across the map, and it's going to lead to them starting Baron. There is nothing else left to fight. Multiple misplays by HongQ in that exchange. Yes, you get a mid lane turret, but I hope we get a replay going all the way back to the beginning of that invade. Credit to AL, obviously, for a really, really good team fight and a well-coordinated re-engage. Shanks does a great job of disengaging, but even before this, before all this happens, HongQ has held ultimate this whole time. He doesn't catch Tarzan out when he overextends in the jungle. HongQ lands his full combo and doesn't press R on Tarzan when he invades the blue. It leads to this fight where HongQ isn't there. He's in a side lane, just not affecting the game at all. I understand why you feel the need to be getting as much gold as possible on Orianna here, because your team is too far behind, but you can't fight 4v5 and expect to win.
And we're reaching the point of no return with this whole. All right, guys, we can give stuff on the map here. Baron was already pretty iffy with how much power it's going to give AL to get rid of structures like a mid-tier 1 turret. But they're probably going to give Soul Point Drake in under a minute. That's fine. But after that point, there's no more giving. Like, we have to fight. The gold lead, while I think it is bigger than the gold actually shows right now, it's still within a manageable range where JDG, if they can get a good team fight on these 2 items, maybe they can fight back. But the clock, even for the biggest of optimists, Kman, is almost going to hit the final hour.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon is spawning. That's Soul Point here for anyone's legend. Ocean Soul once again in this game, and you're looking at Ryze, you're looking at Ashe, Seraphine. Doesn't really matter. Stats are going to be stats in this game. I think if you get that soul, that's going to be too big of a lead to be able to come back from. JunJia waiting over the wall to potentially find Shanks.
Oh, there's the shockwave first into the unstoppable force. Shanks with the Seraph Shield, he's taking up. Yes, because Kael hits a huge encore onto the back line, and nobody from JDG can follow up. Hope knocks down Gala, and here comes Flandre, riding on in his final hour, trying to clean up some extra kills. The turret will protect HongQ. But AL are unrelenting and unstoppable right now. Here's the Realm Warp into the base from both Tarzan and Shanks. Xiaoxu is pretty big and mighty here. Public Future's going to hit onto the backline, gets onto Hope. That's exactly where AL wanted him, on top of all their members, where there's no way for him to find anything but one measly trade kill.
Slayer, you said it perfectly. Anyone's legend can basically get away with anything that they want at this point. JDG had their chance to try and change their fate, but they were too passive, and now it is too late. They land the combo onto Shanks, but this is a Seraph's 9-stack Roa Ryze. You can't kill him at this point in the game with no damage on the Malphite. Again, this looks like a good engage. You land the Shockwave right into the Malphite ultimate. This is best case scenario. What an ultimate, though, coming in from Kael. I questioned whether putting him on Seraphine was good enough. I mean, that was a showcase that, hey, I can break games on Seraphine just as much as I can on the Bard or on the Nico. And we are now seeing a game that looked like it was unlosable the entire time genuinely become unlosable with the gold leads everywhere.
Yep. Well said there, Kman. Beautiful play. It's awesome to see, you know, those moments from Kael. I have been a proponent of how much I adore this guy as a support. But as we continue to have that conversation about the ever-shifting meta away from a lot of our supports, like comfortable champ pools, it's nice to see that as we've gotten more adjusted to a lot more Karma, a lot more Seraphine, you know, even a lot more Melio, champions like those have their moments of, you know, mechanical prowess. So we know Kael can be such a high-level mechanical player, and as you called out, it's nice to see it show up in these small moments on a champion like Seraphine.
It's really not that I'm worried about Kael performing well. It's that the team just falls apart if he's not babysitting them all the time. And obviously it's a little bit more difficult to do that as Seraphine, but He's certainly making it work here in this game. At this point, you need a miracle pick, a miracle engage. This team comp can't even really go forwards at this point, which is the whole thing that they want to do with Ambessa, Malphite, Orianna. You just have to hope for some massive mistake. No objective on the map to take at the current moment, which does create, some overloads on side lanes. Players like Shanks have to be careful in these spots when they're not being protected, but, I mean, at this point, as long as you don't make those mistakes, this game is going to be over pretty shortly, because there's just not really a fight that you can even find.
Nope, the only fights you'll find are the ones that Tarzan wants to create, right? It's what Tarzan and AL want to look for. It's that classic unfortunate conundrum where, in this game state, you have to hope AL make a mistake. You have to hope AL crack open the window a little bit for you to kind of barge in. And you can see it really start to reflect in the items as well, especially up in the top side, right, for Tarzan. This guy, off of a couple of full clears, I wouldn't be surprised if he even has this GA in the bag once he looks for this reset. We'll have to see.
I mean, GA would seal the game as if it's already not been sealed, but, man, how good has Tarzan been in this team's wins? Like,
there we go.
I get it. Right? Like, I get why the inconsistency is being talked about. I was a pretty big proponent that there was more inconsistency last year than maybe some other people were giving him credit for. Tarzan's naturally a player with this playstyle that will have his ups and downs. At his best, is it fair to say that he is the best jungler in the world, or at least in contention for that argument? He's just breaking games when he is playing well. JDG have to look for miracle plays at this point. He has massacred a player that looked so good in playoffs last split. This is the version we've been waiting to show up, and JDG kind of need to take these miracle engage angles to at least try and find avenues back into the game.
Yeah, shout out once again to our observers showing the fog how JDG were trying to abuse that aspect of the game, just sitting over this wall, hoping somebody walks up, but that pink ward is going to spot all of them. And they all going to back off. Arrow going to land on the JunJia, but oh my god, Shanks is just walking down HongQ off to the side. That's one cycle of the spells thanks to that actualizer, and HongQ is as good as done, headed back to the base for a much-needed heal.
Shanks got hit by Orianna Shockwave and took like 100 damage. I mean, like, it's just disgusting at this point. The Ryze is a frontliner. You can play as aggressive as you want, and now they're going to have a dance around Baron, and there's no Shockwave for HongQ.
Nope, not even level 16. We don't have access to that tier 3 Shockwave, right? To maybe wish for this thing to come back up. It's about at halfway, but JDG have no area to even negotiate a fight with the gods to make this work without that Shockwave. They are waiting on that timer. Luckily for them, AL are not brash enough to try and force down the Baron, look for a fight. Flandre, final hour. Good flash away from that unstoppable force. Well timed. JunJia's got to flash his way right back out. And now we've lost another engage tool. Oh my god, Kael looking to play make with the Seraphine. The Breath of Life does make sure JDG don't eat that charm. Tarzan re-engages onto Xiaoxu, feeling pretty confident with that GA. Shanks at about half HP. The Shockwave comes back up, hits Shanks into the pulping execution. Xiaoxu takes down Shanks. Tarzan has the flash with the Crescent Guard. Needs the Kael heals to keep him topped up. But JDG, they find that miracle pickoff, and now they're looking to try and run wild with it.
Yeah, I mean, they want to try and take Baron here. I don't think that they can. This would be a very, very scary take. It looks like they
have to try?
feel like they need the miracle play. They have to try. Tarzan still has his GA available.
Oh no, HongQ hits an Ash Arrow into the double tap stun. Beat drop, down goes HongQ, and Gala tries to fling himself for a desperate trade for his mid laner. He doesn't even get that one. Now JunJia is going to get Kid Damn slammed against the wall, and another kill going over to Hope. The desperation for JDG ends up biting them in the rear. They don't get the Baron, and now Baron might not even be a problem. All of AL besides Tarzan, they're looking to sprint right down the mid lane, Kman.
I think, unfortunately, the Baron call out of desperation was not the right one. That instantly ends the game as they just get completely collapsed upon by the flanking teleports. AL bounced back in dominating fashion. Their early game was perfect. Their late game was perfect. A monstrous game 2 effort from AL.
LPL teams, take notes. If you're staring down a Wombo combo teamfight team, just make sure they never get close to even playing the Wombo out. One of the cleanest early games of the entire split. AL force a game 3.
Well, that felt rude, Slayer. That felt like a rude game. That felt like a wake-up call a little bit for JDG. Yeah. Hey, if I learned something, maybe don't give Tarzan Xin Zhao when there's no other priority junglers available. I don't think the Malphite The Malphite counter pick, not working out. Not really something that I want to see from this team moving forward. I mean, it's almost a game where it's hard to really get anything from it. It's just one of those absolutely decimating performances. The lanes were going generally fine in isolation for JDG. They just lost the jungle position so hard that their macro fell apart and they couldn't play the game.
I'm torn, right? Because it's really fun to watch JDG team fight well, like draft for that style. And, I harp back to it when we saw it drafted. Like, when JunJia and HongQ broke out on a JDG, their start on the year, they played this Orianna Malphite really well. So it was like, I really want to see that do well. But screw all that, Kman. This is the Tarzan that we need AL to be. Unfortunately, at this point, I think Shanks has played well enough to be like, okay, man, I can help you out, but we're still looking for more from, like, Flandre and Hope. So we're going to need this type of Tarzan if we're going to talk about AL, beating the 4th place allegations of last split. It's fun to see him just dominate, like you mentioned, in a style that really, when he's on his game, I agree with you. I don't think any other jungler does it quite like this. Maybe Kanavi. I saw Kanavi do that a little bit last year in the LPL.
I mean, in terms of tempo, like, it's ridiculous what Tarzan does when he feels like he has a small advantage. There's no one who suffocates games more than Tarzan does. It's just absurd what he can do when he has a lead and when he is enabled by the rest of the team. He's always relied so much on his laners being in good spots, and if he can finally start to create these draft scenarios where he can just be so aggro 1v1 in the jungle that he creates his own advantages, I mean, that's the difference between Tarzan being the MVP that he's been in the past and being somebody that's more of a passenger on a team that doesn't really have good side lanes like he's been for parts of this year. It really was just an unbelievable effort, and again, it's almost hard to take anything from it because it was so utterly dominant that how many times are you even going to see him get that opportunity?
And what does kind of go into the rearview mirror of that early game, because Tarzan was so just precise, we have to give some credit to the drafting, right? Because for as good as some of these invades look, oh my god, can we cover? Oh no, don't. JunJia, bro.
Hey, he did more damage than Milio. I was actually concerned. Like there was a
100?
real threat. It's more hey, it's not less. And I think that's the win, right? I think that there was a world where that was looking a lot worse. HongQ did 22.4 thousand damage and still wasn't there for any of the pivotal fights. And I want to make it clear. I want to talk a bit about HongQ because I think I was pretty flamey towards him and some of his decisions. It's not entirely HongQ's fault that he's not available at these fights. What is the problem is that Orianna is in a side lane catching a wave and the rest of the team is posturing for a fight. You can't have both of those things happening. You have to choose which one of those plays you want to go for, and it felt like the disconnect was just too much of a problem for them.
Yeah, disconnect on this with the style for the comp that JDG needed. The point I was going to make earlier, Kman, how connected this draft was to assist in Tarzan's playstyle. You're picking the Vayne range top matchup into Ambessa. Yeah. You're going to have constant push, always on that top side. And then Ashe Seraphine, right? We feel like Lucian Melio is an answer to it. But in those early levels, it kind of gets trounced. Like, you have to wait till level 3 to even maybe skirmish with this Lucian Melio. So Ashe Seraphine were constantly shut on the turn. We saw in that first Grom fight that Kael was able to roam first to help out Tarzan. So as well played as it was by Tarzan, this draft really helped accentuate Tarzan's ability to run away with this jungle matchup from the early game.
I do want to put at least a little bit of respect on the Lucian Melio lane and say that all the summoners were burned at level 1, and Gala played the fight about as poorly as you could, right? He took all that damage and all that poke coming down from the Ashe Seraphine, and that basically took away any ability for them to play up till level 3. You're right that is the weakest part of the game, but by the time they hit their power spike, Shanks, who got a free kill mid lane, realm warps into the bot lane and picks up a free kill for himself under tower onto Gala as well. I can't judge the Lucian Melio for this one. They were put in such a bad spot in this game. Like, I don't think this is indicative of what that counter pick can actually look like, as we've seen from multiple other teams. That is the answer. It just doesn't matter when you have an entire comp of other teammates that are so far ahead and can basically win your lane for you.
Well, JDG fans, if you want one highlight, here it is for you.
Shockwave into Ambessa ult. You killed Ryze, which I, at parts of the game, thought was undoable. I did not think that was something that was on the table for this team with the amount of health that he had, but this is the big mistake, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say I can't understand why they made the call for Baron, but like like, there's just no way you ever get this Baron. Like, you were instantly losing the game by going for Baron. There's no way that actually ever ends up working, and unfortunately for JDG, they were just so far behind that they probably wanted the game to end, at least on their terms.
Well, it did indeed. Luckily, the series does not end on anybody's terms. We are getting set up here for a Game 3. Normally, folks, if you're used to the show, you're probably thinking, when is Slayer going to ask Kman about player of the game? Guys, the most obvious 8 out of 8 unanimous MVP vote better be on my screens immediately for Tarzan. This is not what I need to see. I knew this was coming. Production, we will stick around. I will be very angry if I don't see an 8 out of 8 coming from the voters pool here in about, I guess, a minute.
This is probably the most dominant game of the split. Like,
yep.
Like in all of the LPL. I don't know if there is a single game that has been played so far in 2026 in split number 2 that has been as dominant as this one was for Tarzan. He was up 4,000 gold at the end of the game. He was up like 4 levels. Just utter domination.
Yeah, so the reason I said that, like, the only player I've seen do this besides Tarzan in the LPL as of like...
Ha!
I'm sorry. You know when you get so angry that you don't talk. Like that's the angry
the nervous
that, like,
system
you should be worried
breaks.
about. Like when somebody just like gets angry and they don't say anything, that means you screwed up. You screwed up, casters. All right. Well, whatever. It's not unanimous. It's unanimous in our minds, Kman. That's what matters most here on LPL English.
I literally joked and said it was going to be Hope, and then someone actually voted for Hope. That's incredibly funny. Tarzan was the most dominant game we've seen this split. Game 3, you just got to turn it around. GG, go next.
Yep. All right, GG, go next. Anyone's Legend. What a response here. And this is the most fun part, folks. We have a do or die Game 3. Winner is locked into playoffs. And based off of our 2 games, we have no idea who's coming in this one better. We'll have to see. We'll have to find out. One final draft for one crucial playoff spot coming your way. Game 3, JDG AL, after another extended break. We'll see you on the other side.